thing, but I've realized that that's a 3 minute short and this is maybe a little bit different. That's okay. What I thought I'd do is go a little bit deeper into how I'm thinking about the technology. So imagine you've got a little database that you created on your computer in Postgres, and you've got a field to store information or a table to store information. And let's think of the fields that you want. So you want a category. So this is knowledge that I'm putting out into the world. It's public, so visibility might be a field that you want to have, because when you're reading information and putting it into other documents, you want to know whether it's meant to be secret or not. What type of information is it? So this is a live stream vertical, but a lot of my live streams that go for about an hour are, well, much more planned, and they'll have a structure. This is quite random, to be honest. Then we've got information coming in from documents on my computer, usually markdown documents, but could be code. It's not so much the code I want, it's usually the comments that I want that I put in the code, or the structure and stuff like that. Then I want to know, because my life is categorized in YouTube channels in some respects, I have winning prompts where I think of prompt engineering, Happy Dave where I talk about this sort of technology, Happy Dave research where I talk about it in real time, and AI TLDR where I might do long form videos on AI tools. What I want to do is note where this information was coming in. I also use ChatGPT projects a lot, so there's a lot of information there. And as I bring it into the database, I want to know where it came from, and I want to have techniques to automate it. So let's think about how this could have been automated with Operator, which is the new web first agent from OpenAI. So imagine you've got this little application. Like I said, it has this really simple database. It just has a bunch of fields. One of them is content, of course. And what you do is you open up Operator and say, I would like you to go to my ChatGPT Plus account, click on every one of my chats, copy all the information in it, and then send it to this database. Now, for that to happen, Operator would need to support the concept of two applications at once, one being ChatGPT that it's reading from, and the other being this RAG database application that you're creating that it's writing to. And from what I saw on Friday when Sam Altman streamed it, that's not a capability in it at the moment, but that'll come. When we talk about getting files off my computer, let's say we're using Obsidian, right? So Obsidian, which I don't use, I don't use Notion either. I don't use any of these sorts of tools for second brain stuff, but I do have a lot of markdown documents on the screen. What I could do is point it at my dev directory and say, go get every file that's a markdown document and load it in. But there's going to be a bunch of problems with this. The first is that I would point it at my dev directory, which may be 50 gigs of files or whatever it's got in it, and a lot of them are in node modules folders, so they're actually markdown documents related to libraries. This has absolutely nothing to do with my second brain concept, so I need an exclusion capability. Now you can configure that in Obsidian according to ChatGPT. I asked before I got on this call, but the problem is that if you also wanted to isolate certain files, it doesn't have good filtering capabilities. So what's another way we can do it? Well, I built my own tool for automating my AI coding, and what I did was it's called GPT Context. Essentially, it's a command line tool that I run, and I have inclusion globs and exclusion globs. And what's a glob? It's basically star.markdown, or it might be star/star.markdown. So that's any markdown file in any directory. I also have exclusion globs, so I could exclude anything that's in a node modules folder. And what does this command line tool? Well, at first, if you format it in tree format, it just finds all the files and prints them in an ASCII tree. But if you wanted the content, then you can either turn on both or just content, and it'll give you the file names and all the content. Now we've got everything we need off our computer because of this little command line tool that we could just point add a RESTful API or just send it directly to the database. And suddenly every markdown document on your computer is in this database ready to be used by RAG. So then what we need to do next is think of the other places that we put documents. So we'd need something from Google Docs, I guess. I don't use that, but I guess we could use LangChain or some sort of tool that can go and read all this information. We can use direct APIs, I guess, and just read all the information in our Google Docs. Then we've got ChatGPT. I wrote a tool using Replit. Replit's a really cool AI pair programmer, and what it allowed me to do was create a Chrome extension where I could just go to any of my chats and click a little button up in the top bar, and it just copied the entire chat. So it'd be user, whatever I said, agent, whatever the agent said, and it's all listed, and we got the title of the conversation. So this would be another way that I could get information into the RAG. And then there's the way we're doing it right now, which is the live streaming. The good thing about the live streaming is that I can just give this URL, especially if it's public or unlisted, straight to the application, and it could absorb the text for me. Now, what do we do then? Well, why are we collecting all this information? Well, if you think of the movie Her, or Project Theodore in general, we know that we are going to spin off agents that are just automatically doing stuff for us in the background. So the first set of agents I'd be thinking of are just ontology agents. These are agents that will just get the categories out of the data coming in. Now, these ontology agents probably need to have custom instructions in them to make sure that they're getting... Someone said, "You drinking goon in the park." Yeah, this is Brisbane, by the way. Some sort of cathedral. I don't know what it is. It's near where I live. So the ontology. Why is the ontology important? Okay, so I have different YouTube channels. So the ontology and categorization would be very important there to know that the content coming in goes straight, it is related to a particular channel. And the way I introduce that, by the way, is it can figure it out from the source, but I can give it as metadata. I can say, oh, this video happens to be about Project Theodore. Now, an ontology or categorization agent would go, okay, well, we've seen this before, we know what to do with it, we know where to direct it. And then afterwards, other agents could kick in. So for instance, I'm doing this live stream, and if I was using something like Opus Clip or Minvo, these are shorts creation tools, we could send that transcript directly to an agent that can create short form videos directly from what I'm saying. And this is imminent, if not now. Like, I know there's lots of people out there that would know how to do it today, but the actual capabilities of this is very imminent, and we'll see it this year. What else did I have on my little list that I want to talk about? Because I've now realised I can talk for more than 3 minutes. GPT scraping, GPT operator. So one of the things that I'd love to be able to do in my live streams is, well, it's not even the live streams. Let's think about it. GPT operator, which I did a video on, has a whole lot of limitations, but it's still pretty good. You can have a chat conversation and have it operate one particular application, and that's great. But because you can watch the actual, because an AI agent could actually watch this particular video, it could be going off after the event and doing so much stuff. Now, I've already said that, so let's drop that crap. What else? Oh, and the other thing is, I wanted to talk about Loom. So normally I would use Loom to do the sort of conversations I'm having here, because I do use Loom all the time to converse with my work, to converse with people in my team, to converse with clients or friends or whatever, because it's private. But the thing is, I want this information to be generally public so that agents can be involved with improving the ideas. So everything that we're talking about, being about Project Theodore, should be able to be stored in a database and enhance that particular project when I'm ready to build it, like the requirements spec, all this sort of stuff. Even the table that I talked about, all of that can be extracted as an entity relationship diagram just from the conversation I'm having here. I don't actually have to go and do that as a task. If I've got an ERD agent that's just listened to this and says, here you go, David, this is the table I think you need. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, I'm happy, Dave. I got to get back to work, to be honest. And this is where I'm thinking about things with second brains. At some stage, I'm going to put a link in the description of these videos so that if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Talk to you guys later, and let me figure out how to turn this sucker off.